Hello, welcome to Mali Traders. Today we'll be doing a little bit of market analysis, general market analysis, so to speak. So we'll be starting with crypto here. This is not Bitcoin, this is Bitcoin dominance, Bitcoin market cap or whatever. It has dropped from this point, 6.6 billion, to this point, which is about 501 billion or so. You will notice that this chart is exactly the same as the Bitcoin chart itself, okay? Because it is just Bitcoin dominance, basically. It's not the total market cap of all crypto. This is Bitcoin's market cap dominance, okay? Uh, so that's for that. And so if you're charting this or you're charting Bitcoin, it's basically the same thing. But I just chart Bitcoin and I watch this, the dominance sometimes. So let's see what we can see here. I'm just gonna take this. I was using this earlier for some tutorial. Move them out. So for a while now, we have not been able to breach this level. Okay, so this is where we currently find ourselves in crypto or Bitcoin. The trend is still strong. Don't get me wrong. This trend is still very, very solid. I'm just gonna remove the magnet. Okay, so this is still very strong. This could just be a retracement of it, so nothing has changed yet. When this flip this zone, this is when we're going to be considering a retest of this zone, which I still think is possible. So we could be seeing something like this, then break this trend line, and then test this point and possibly go back here or continue down here. Now, hey, anything is possible. I don't call the short. I just analyze the chart. All right. So this is where we currently are. Now, what am I trying to say here is that this weekly order block right here repelled price. So while people were shouting 36k, I saw a lot of YouTubers talking about 36k. Hey guys, listen, man. If you falling for those clickbaits, you're just their liquidity, okay? Because pay-per-view, you know what I mean? For every click, every like, every share, they're getting cash for that. So it doesn't really matter what is shilling out, you know. You click it, you watch it, you consume the content, they get views, they get money. That's how it goes. Point is, I saw this as a very huge blockade that is going to repel price from that zone. So we consolidated like over a month, 2 months, they're about 2 months. Okay, 8 weeks, they're about, we're still inside this range. It's not unusual. If you look at the same, we spend a quite, probably not as much as this, but we spent a quite significant amount of time here. And if you look at this move, it retraced back to the last fair value gap, this zone, BPRO in here, and then it shot up. And now it just did the exact same thing. Okay, this let me pull it out for you so you can see clearly. So we have, what do we have here? We have a balanced price range. It just did the exact same thing it did here. We had this balanced price range. Okay, between this, probably we have some people with sight problem. So I'm just trying to make everything more obvious. So Bitcoin is doing the exact same thing it did for this move. We had an energetic move, retrace into discount, into balanced price range, and then it took off. Again, we had an energetic move, consolidated, retrace into the same similar zone, and then it took off. Now, oh, sorry, it hasn't taken off yet. So what am I trying to say here is that, are we going to see a rerun? You know, a repeat of the same thing? Like that? You let me know in the comment section, okay? What do you think? That we're going to the moon? Or the moon boy shouting, yeah, whatever. Okay. Now that's just the weekly outlook. Let's go to the daily. So if we go to the daily, I was telling my community about this. We came straight into this BC right here, buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency right here, and then we tapped just into the consequent encroachment, exactly as I was saying it. Now I don't like to use exactly as predicted. I don't really care about that. It's not about prediction or calling tops and bottoms. It's about execution. So leave your ego behind, guys. Make a good forecast and read price action. That's what matters, your P&L. So point is, you tap right in and we're seeing some form of some move already, but I'm still very, very skeptical about this. So we're seeing about 7% move from the points where we called it, and now we're checking this out. However, we've started seeing a decline. As you can see very obviously, we're having, where is it, we're having lower highs and we're making a lower low, so it's definitely a down move. So retail traders, which we are not, will be pulling something like a symmetrical triangle, or rather no, or a descending triangle rather, so to speak, something like this. So on a daily time frame, Bitcoin finds itself in this situation. All right, a descending triangle, if I got that right. So for all you retail traders out there, this is a descending triangle on the 4-hour on the daily time frame. Bitcoin is currently trading within that zone. You already had a little fake out and now it's back into the range. So what you gotta do now is to figure out, is this going to continue like this, retests off to the moon, taking out all this buy side liquidity, retest this place to dump down, or continue to the moon? You let me know what you think. Okay, personally, I'm not watching this pattern triangle thing. I'm just putting it out there for you, pattern traders, because I understand that we have some pattern traders in now in my community. So I gotta encompass, I gotta like take that into account. However, that is for Bitcoin. And if we go to Ethereum, let's see what we see. What was our last? Oh, by the way, this Bitcoin forecast I was just doing here, we had Bitcoin analysis. No, not daily analysis. Not that. Yeah, this was the exact nice of rubbish. So I'm just going to move all these ones that I've been drawing today. Deleting all that. So if we look at this, so this is the exact analysis I gave on Discord, where I was telling my crew, okay, this is what we're going to potentially see. Okay, so this were the different scenarios. So we just tapped into the CE, the consequent encroachment of this buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency, and this wick right here. Okay, so it's around the center of this wick, although it's not entirely the consequent encroachment of this wick. Yes, I do take into consideration the other PDAs on the other side. That is what makes my stacking stronger, right? It makes my level stronger. So this is exact same chart analysis I posted on the Discord for my family. All right, so now let's go to Ethereum and see what we can find. So we'll go to ETH and let me see if I had analysis here. Okay, this has the, yeah, this one definitely played out when we, this is an old analysis. Of course, it definitely played out. And let me see a more recent one before I go to, okay, so this was the ETH analysis that I gave out together with Bitcoin. Again, as you can see, it's similar to Bitcoin, right? The order flow is still bullish. Okay, this is to emphasize the bullishness of the order flow, the trend of the order flow. Okay, I'm not giving you pattern here. And then we have the equilibrium line, right? What I mean by equilibrium is if you take this low to this high, you get this 50%. So now we tap down into discount zone already and then took off. This is an order block. We take out this SSR liquidity, tap into the consequent encroachment of this order block, and then we took off. So it was playing out exactly as we thought also. And then we had these other PDAs that we were keeping on our eyes on should the case it come lower. Okay, so that is for that. That is for it, and I'm still holding that, so there is not much of analysis to do in that respect. So I'm still expecting a little bit of consolidation here, and for that downside, I think there's still a lot of buy side, sell side to be grabbed. Here we have this BPRO, tiny BPRO here, and then we have this sell side. And remember, we just traded into a higher time frame zone here. Okay, we just took out this heavy buy side liquidity. Okay, and this one too, if you like, we just tapped into this tiny. Let me see if we did. It would be interesting if we did. That would be really awesome. I've actually never measured it like that. Oh, you gotta be effing kidding me. I'm gonna take the smallest. Okay, so this is IO fade right here. So we had an IO fade right here at this point. Now, what does that matter? IO fade means institutional order flow entry drill. Okay, these are concepts coined by ICT, not my concept. All right, so when you see this sort of thing, is that you have a fair value gap, which is a CB right here. Okay, and then this, remember, we're on a weekly time frame, and then you have candle trading into it, but it is so tiny, like a tiny willy in here. I didn't even have the F1 tree, didn't even have the balls or whatnot to come even closer to the half. So it means that the bearish stand here was kind of significant. So it just wicked tiny bit into it, into that place, and then took down. It took its way down. So it covering almost the same amount of candle body which he went up with. So you see this going up, this Jesus candle, and then you see the repatriation. All right, you see the deportation from the exact same zone with IO fed. This tells me that okay, there is some form of bearish sentiment in the market by the market makers, the big banks and all that. And then we had this indecisive dojis or whatever they call them, and then it's just retail will say, okay, there's a lot of sell pressure, so it's not really going as planned. Of course, we could consolidate, we could have this, and then we had this, he pushed, and then he just did this funny candles, and then further push down, and then it took off. Yeah, is that possible? Yes. Is that what is likely to happen here? It's possible, but do I think that? I don't know. You let me know. Okay, let me know down on the comment section. But when I see this, the same amount of velocity, I am a little bit skeptical. If you look here, we had this Jesus candle, and then we have this deportation candle. Okay, this is max exodus. Okay, this is max deportation in my opinion. And then we just had two consecutive, and then we tried to rally up again, and then went down, and then went up into this premium just to fill some to grab some liquidity and fill some gap in a lower time frame, and then we continue dipping down until we had this higher low, and then we started going up. Okay, So I think it's possible to touch lower point. Hey, what do I know? I don't call the shot. I just analyze it, just interpret it. All right. So that is Ethereum right there. And then if we go to, basically the same principle is applying on um, most of these coins. Bitcoin take the lead, and then Ethereum, and then all the other top altcoins, and then yeah, I don't know what is happening with the shit coins. Something. I don't really trade them. I just analyze them and play with them just to make myself a better trader. So if you look at Solana here now let's look at let me take this out. Look at the naked chart. So basically similar thing, although not as explosive as the others. So there was a retrace into this fair value gap, which will indicate that okay, this gap has technically been filled, though we still have some space left. But this week suggests that there was a lot of buying pressure. Okay, now I'm just quoting retail jargons. Okay, I don't really care much about buying pressure, selling pressure. I just know algorithmic theory. That is what I trade. So like I said, I try to match my language with both retail and SMC traders. Okay, so here we have some buying pressure, kind of cleaning this area, meaning they're trying to keep price above this zone. So if you see here, so if you look at this zone, price is staying above it. So the majority of the weeks is just touching this point, and then price is staying above it. So for now, it suggests that okay, they're keeping price above here, and potentially we're going to see this. We're going to possibly see something like this. Maybe dive down into here and then like this to take out buy side, because there are liquidity up here. Now this is a higher time frame. Okay, this is macro time frames, macro analysis. Never ignore this, man. Never ignore your macro analysis. Oh shit, my Picasso sucks. Damn, should be better at doing that. Maybe I should start taking art classes instead of doing market analysis. No, I prefer this. Okay guys, so this is what I think. um yeah, not much to say. The market is a little bit wonky. What's happening with Cardano? Oh gosh, I used to love this coin. It's totally shit coin now, in my opinion. Honestly, I don't even find interest in crypto that much anymore. It's just pure BS. Now screw that. I'm going to the real market. Okay, so no, let's start with dollar. Let's start with the dollar. So a couple of days, or rather weeks ago, I said, I mean, for a while, I, yeah, this was, no, let's start from the macro drawn liquidity. So this was our macro drawn liquidity that we pointed out weeks or months ago. We've tapped into it, and then we've tapped into it again, and we are expecting price. I said I was low-key bullish. I think price was here then. So I said I was low-key bullish on the dollar. Okay. Even here then, I expected this gap to be filled, or at least price should trade into it. It did that. And then we have come into this. Okay. So, and then we consolidated. So market have just been kind of weird in this zone. Although I was still expecting, why I was low-key bullish on dollar, I sort of had this at the back of my head that it would be better. I would rather like to see something like that, dip a bit down, taking out, if not uh, this low, at least these lows here. I would like to see them pushed to continue tap into some form of fair value gap and continue going up. to potentially trade into this zone again. All right, trade into it. We have traded into it here, and then we traded into it here. At least trade into it potentially or possibly. Best case scenario for me would have been this gap, a candle close, the body close into this. All right, so something like that, body close into it, and then retest that zone and probably continue. So this would have been a best case scenario. This would have been really awesome, but I didn't really have that. The market didn't give me that, but we did trade. It worked out 70% as I had earlier analyzed. So this was the macro drawn liquidity, and then for the downside, I had this quiz posted out some time ago. So this will be some crazy point to keep your eye on. Okay, if you go in that low, that's just for that. And then back to the daily, and then we have this fair value gap here. All right, we have this BC right here. Before that, there is nothing really. We had this little gap here, which is still inside this other block, and yeah, so this zone is going to be strong. Okay, and if it breaks, this is where my eyes are. Okay, right here. And then if that doesn't hold, this relative equal lows, let me close this so I can you can pay attention. This relative equal lows, again, there is a volume imbalance here which was traded into multiple times, so price might revisit that area and also clear out this side, but that would be a little bit aggressive, wouldn't it? But hey, everything is possible. Something like this. So if we were to have a red folder news now, this could potentially happen. But hey, yeah, just putting it out there. So let me take this out and look further to what we can see. Now if we go here, okay, by the way, this was the setup that I was talking about. So it is definitely playing out. It just didn't come down and take out these lows. So if you move this was the analysis weeks ago. So if you just move it, you see, basically the same thing. But I was telling I think one of my mentee that I would like to see something like that I drew before, something like that, taking out these lows. Okay, something like that. Now, why did I say that I would prefer that over what I actually drew and what actually delivered? Because what I drew here is what delivered. Because before any move, any significant move, some measure of any, in a bullish scenario, let me close this. In a bullish scenario, before any major move, some measure of sell-side liquidity has to be pushed. Okay, I didn't have that, so that's my problem. Okay, that is my freaking problem. So we just had this, what retail we call trendline liquidity. So what some people even in the SMC CT call trendline liquidity. All right, so if we go to 4-hour time frame, it becomes more prominent. Okay, so we had this. So the dollar Dixie didn't give me that purge that I was anticipating. I would have wanted to see something like that. Okay, so it didn't give me that, so that's my problem. However, it's still all good, and because it didn't give me that, it left this liquidity behind. It make me a little bit skeptical of this move, that okay, it might potentially come down and take this low. So all you forex traders, watch out. All right, so that is I'll take this out. So that is that for now, and then let's go back to the daily time frame. So if you've not watched my levels taking video, please go and watch part 1, part 2, watch it several times until you get it. Okay, by the way, I just have to say something. If you're going to watch the video part 1, part 2, do not focus on the other PDAs I was talking about, like order block, breaker block, fair value gap, because those were just because it was the videos was recorded during a one-on-one session with one of my students, one of our traders at Mali, on my Discord there. So it was more like relaxed conversational, you know, sort of thing, tutorial mentorship session. So just pay attention to customizing your trading view and all these templates, you know. So first do your template and then start watching the video. Just pay attention to the taking the levels and all those stuff. So this is what happened here. So if you were trading today and you were surprised at what the markets was doing, now I'm still not trading fully yet this week because I have other things doing, so I'm not really paying attention to the market right now. So I'll be back trading fully again in a couple of weeks. So I operated, or rather updated my levels on Sunday. So this is my weekly levels that I took, and then my daily levels. Okay, so this area here, like I said before, is my draw on liquidity. This zone is my draw on liquidity. Okay, so this is what I was thinking price was going to come to. All right, so like I said, as I was low-key bullish, I knew price was likely going to come to that point. All right, so this was Friday's trading, although I didn't mark the high, but I took note of it. And then if I look at my extra zone, you see, I put it there. This is where I'm hoping price will come to. And then if we go to lower time frame, so yesterday, Sunday, price was trying to gravitate towards there, but it didn't, and then it just melted down. So that's the beauty of taking your levels. You know what to watch out for. So when I say start from studying levels taken, I know what I'm talking about. All right, so if you go to the 4-hour time frame, so now here is another thing. If this price is going to come down, this is the places or the areas you want to be paying attention to. This gap here, we have this gap, and then we have implied fair value gap inside. Okay, we have a volume imbalance, and then we have implied fair value gap. So they're both imbalances at the same area, or rather in the same area. So price might just let's go to the 4-hour and see what we can see. Price might just come fill this BC right here. So price might do something like this. You're probably not going to like it, but this is going to help you position yourself. Fill this BC right here, tap into this level, fill in that gap and this other gap, and then continue. That is for the bullish situation. Now that is taking into account, or assuming that this OF continues, right? So something like this. Now it will just tap into this for those trend line traders. Now you have a confluence zone. Okay, so keep this in your chart. All right, this is what you want to do. Something like this. Yeah, it's not perfect, but why do I say that? So if you take, let's here for example, so we take this swing low. From this swing low, we have the OT right here. Okay. So I just have to do this again so you can see properly. So price coming down, tapping into discount inside your OT, on top of your trend line, in a volume imbalance, inside a fair value, in implied fair value gap. It doesn't get more juicy than that. So put this on your annotation, or rather put this on your chart, and then you have, don't say I didn't tell you, you have something to watch out for. Okay. So I'm just going to close those and leave it there. So that is for the dollar. That is what I'm looking at. And then for ES, if you ES traders, uh, let me see. I'm going to, if you trade in ES, you will appreciate what was happening here. Here we had gaps. So here we had a 1 hour, a 15 minutes order block right there. We have a 15 minutes order block, and we have another. First of all, this is the ICT gap indicator. I just plotted a couple of them. So once this area here, I was expecting it to hold price, and it did. So you take a short position above your NWG zone, stop loss above the order block, and then you took it down. Again, you did the same, you took it down. Okay, and here you will know what to do by this. Simply doing this. Holy shit. The fuck? Sorry, man. That was just really weird. Okay, that never happened to me before. Shit, man. I'm just gonna move my gaps indicator. So you will know what to do because you are a Mali trader crew or whatever. So here we have a OT. This is looking really good. So here you will know what to do. You trade the OT back into this. So you have your OT zone here, and this is exactly why is this point, why did I measure this point? Because this is optimal trade entry zone. Okay, how did you get that? If you open our session indicator here, you can see that this was the London key zone right here, and we're already expecting a bearish move, so we just entered a short position from there back, and then took a long position inside the New York key zone, which is also coinciding with the London close key zone inside the optimal trade entry, and then back up into old OT. You know what? That's like ping ponging at its highest level right there. Okay, so this is how we did this. Now, like I said, I wasn't trading. I'm not really trading this period. I have other things, but this is exactly how my crew did it, and I was just watching them. I took a little trade here, one of these places before, but this is how we navigate trading, and with more analysis, of course. So if you want to know how we do this on a daily basis, how we call the markets within ourselves, and how I am mentoring new traders and newcomers, come to my Discord, come to our Discord, Mali Traders Discord, and watch our video on YouTube here on YouTube, and then yeah, subscribe to the channel, and then come to the Discord. You can have access to the indicators that I use. It's my own indicator, the gap indicator, and the session indicator. So this is just some of the few trades that we took. And now let me show you something with, oh gosh, I was using this no, never mind, I'm not gonna do that. It's just weird, has a lot of stuff in it. I don't have the energy to clean it up. Okay, and if you know how I position myself for how I trade my FX, you will know that this was anticipated and it was caught. The same with these other ones. And yeah, using SMT divergence at the top or the lows. Okay, I think that will be it for now. Let's see gold. Let me do gold. Okay, gold. Let's start from the weekly. First, let me go to my object tree and see. I haven't updated it. Like I said, I've been away from trading from my charts for long. I mean, from updating them, so all my levels have been violated. Um, so that is for that. And yeah, this was a very good short position. We marked out this all-time high a couple of weeks ago and see what happened. Boom. So when I'm emphasizing take your levels, mark your levels, be aware of your levels, I'm not joking. So you see where older levels becomes resistance. So this is a breaker right here. What is a breaker? Where old key points, swing high or swing low, swing high in this position, in this situation, becomes a rejection point. Okay, price retested it and boom. This was a red folder event. Okay, so if we go to the daily, yeah, you see the long week. I think this was a red folder event. But yes, this is how you anticipate this sort of thing. Long consolidation in an area, long consolidation, and then boom. Remember, this is the liquidity, guys. If you cannot identify the liquidity zone and the liquidity area and how to position yourself, you becomes liquidity. There is no two ways around it. Okay, so you want to take note of this right here. Again, trend line, retail boys or girls, retail people, they will be doing this. Okay, they're trying to figure out something. What I see here is like liquidity. All right, so don't get caught on the wrong side. Now, because of this energetic move, it went up too fast and I had to slowly retrace its way back to this zone. This is the fair value area. Okay, once price leaves it too much too fast, it will usually find its way back. Now while I'm here, I can as well just update this baby. So keep an eye on this value, this gap or sorry, yeah, gap imbalance slash volume imbalance right there. I call it slash because the wick is not all the way and then there's some space in between them. So this is so I'm kind of low-key bullish, sorry, low-key bearish on the gold at the moment. Okay, so you want to take note of the consequent encroachment zones. You want to take note of that. So price already tapped into the this the CE of this and this, which is this area. So for those of you who knows my level, the implied fair value gap level, you already see that this already tapped into it, and then we had some move from there. And now just look for the next ones. We don't really have opposing wicks. So what about oil? I can do silver. What about oil? What's up with oil? Oh gosh, don't get me started on this. Well, we're bearish. There's no two ways about it. This was just OPEC that happened. They cut in production or whatever. So that's why we had this. And then it cleared buy side. And now we're back again within the zone. You see, this is fair value area. So that is why we're back into it. So this same principle or by the same measure you will use you will apply to gold. that I said before. Okay, that is possible that this was just now is going to come back into that fair value area before probably going up or going lower, but I'm keeping my eye here. All right, now this is about 40 minutes. I think that will be it for now. um yes, until I see you guys again, remember, oh my goodness, I'm just going to clear this. So I'm trying to point something out here with this. So this is the accuracy you're looking for when you're trading this sort of things, this sort of accuracy. Now ignore the fact that it seems like it's all over the place, because you know what you're looking for: the dates and the next one. Okay, where liquidity and which new week opening gap or new day opening gap is close to your liquidity zone, is close to your fair value gap. Say we have a fair value gap here, we already see that, but there's a sell side here that needs to be taken. It's taken. We had a consolidation and price traded away from it. Okay, it consolidated inside, price consolidated inside this new day opening gap, and then off it went. Okay, came back here, went into this because we haven't taken out this buy side, so price just came here. Although it filled this gap though, that is why it consolidated inside this point and then took out sell side liquidity to continue. Now you have this gap inside this fair value gap, so this becomes really strong. So this is some of the things, few of the things that we look at when we're taking a trade using our ICT gap indicators, or rather indicator. So this was a news event. You know, everything that goes up must come down. How the hell did you know to take a shot from this point? Thanks to our NWAG ICT gap indicator. Okay, so we took it all the way. Never trade news, but if you learn our tricks, you can catch this move down. Okay, and because it didn't take this liquidity, this is just another trick you have to think about. Because it just went, it didn't bother to take this liquidity. You should, and this is news driven, so you should then be sure that it's likely going to come back here and then swap everything in one move, and which it did. So that's for that. I think that's all for now. It's late, I gotta go sleep. I'm traveling tomorrow, so I wouldn't be doing any video in the next couple of days, maybe 1 2 weeks. No, not 2 weeks, maybe for the next week. But I'll be doing some for my community and on the Discord and answering their question. So if you want to learn ICT, if you want to learn SMC, come to Mali Traders Discord. Okay, every question, when I mean every question, everyone gets their question answered. If you ask a question, it's not answered, just bug me until it's answered. Usually it's answered within a few minutes or few hours if I'm online, or if any of my crew members online. Okay, people are passing their challenges left, right, and center. So if you find another community that does the same for you, hey, by all means, stick to it. If you have a strategy that is working for you, hey, bro, sis, stick to it. But I simplify, or rather, we simplify ICT and SMC to the extent a child will understand. Okay. All right. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. It's not like a jerk saying that. Do whatever you like. Peace out.